TV. Used to.
When do we use used to? To describe something we did in the past, but don't do now. How do we structure used to in an affirmative sentence?
Subject plus used to plus verb. I used to play tennis.
How do we structure used to in a negative sentence?
Subject plus didn't plus used to.
In negative sentences, we say used to and not used to.
Plus verb. They didn't used to study.
How do we structure used to in an interrogative sentence?
Did plus subject plus used to.
In interrogative sentences, like in negative sentences, we say used to and not used to.
Plus verb. Did she used to be vegan?
Examples. Example 1.
I used to have a car, but now I have a scooter.
Example 2.
James used to be a fireman. Now he's a policeman.
Example 3.
Ben didn't used to have a girlfriend, now he does, and he's in love.
Ooh la la!
Example 4.
Humans didn't used to live in houses, but now they do.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, everybody. Let's see. I think Gabby is still trying to get in. Let me stop sharing for a bit. Let's see. So this is usually our class that has a nice little size. Hello, Val. Hello, Gabby. Hello, Fatima. Good morning, Obed. Good morning, Fernanda. Well, two Fernandas, Pacheco and Perez. Good morning, Dana. And good morning, Itzel. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Awesome. So we're going to have a packed class today. So I'm going to show you my screen, and we're going to try to go piece by piece through what we have to cover. We're going to practice one really in-depthly. We're going to review the others. As you saw this morning, I sent you two videos. I played one as a preview just now. And I sent you guys a notification of the forum. All of this I want you to do in 1 week, because next week I want you to focus on what we'll start on next Saturday, which is Unit 4. So this week, so from today to Friday, I want you to really zone in and practice everything in Unit 3. Now, I think some of you have done Unit 3 work already, so which is good. It's just a little bit of practice and completing your forum. Okay, so here we go. Today, our focus. What we're going to try to do today is cover as much as possible from Unit 3. Now, Unit 3 focuses on actions in progress and habits from the past. Now that means that we're going to be looking at past continuous, used to, the adverbs you use, and some conjunctions. Now, as you saw, I sent to you the video that was in the preview and the video you saw on the screen just now. So you kind of had an idea of what we're going to be doing. Now, I think everyone has added their names and groups to the chat. Thank you so much. Let's start off with the first little snapshot. When you think of the past continuous, this first section, what you want to zone in on is one, it's continuous. So it's an ing, it's a progressive form of the past. There will be events overlapping each other. All right, so that's why you see here we have that phrase, overlapping event. I was walking in the station when. It's super important that you remember when and while as I speak in today's lesson. When is the cuando in English, and it's usually indicates there is a conjunction and or a interruption. Now, the goal of your practice is eventually to produce a video. That's what Forum 3 is, a video. You're going to do your story, you're going to create, probably use Canva or Video Maker or PowerPoint presentation with transitions and make a video. So you're going to be telling a story. Past continuous is also used in story background, right? The birds were singing and the sun was shining. Amy sat down, setting the stage. We are going to be practicing past habits. Not necessarily only she was constantly singing and these types of frequency adverbs. We're going to be zoning in today on used to and would do certain things. All right, but the past continuous also is used for the emphasis on the length of time. I was working in the garden all day. That all day is also an adverbial expression. So I will send you this link. I'll also send you this. Over here, you can go deeper into the instructions. With this one, you can look at how to structure the past continuous. And there's exercises if you want to practice. All right, so that's snippet number 1. I hope you've seen past continuous before. If you have questions, let me know, send me a message later, etc. The next important thing is, since you're telling a story and you're recording audio, you want to make sure your pronunciation is good. So I'll send you the pronunciation ED endings again, which is basically for the past. Lots of the verbs you'll use will have ED endings. Also, how to say the year. If you're telling a story about 2021 or 2015 or about your grandparents in 1966, saying the year correctly is important. So I'll send you a link to this so you can listen and practice how to say the year. Now, as I mentioned, our focus will be on used to. Used to is a part of the past tenses section. All right, so you should know the past simple. I hope you understand the past continuous. I sent you some links. Today we're going to be practicing used to, and we're going to do some exercises. Before we come here, though, I'll also make sure to send to you adverbs of past, so other words you can use for the past. I'll also send you when to choose between the past simple and the past continuous, explanation here, exercises over here, how to differentiate when to use cuando, when, and while, mientras, in English. All right, a quick little activity, a little fun activity here. As I mentioned, past habits, like present habits we did in the unit 2, are very commonly spoken about. So we're going to look at used to specifically for past states and habits. So I used to live in California, I used to drink, and would for repeated actions. Every weekend I would go. My mother would always tell me. All right. And of course, if when in a while pops up in other situations, you might want to take a little look over this just to be comfortable with when and while. I'll share all of this in our classroom feed. Let's practice. In today's practice, we're focusing, as I mentioned, on used to. So let me start with, I think Obed was trying to get in here first. Let's look firstly at used to. So we know use, utilize, is a verb by itself. With the preposition to, it's transformed into a modal verb. And this construction, we can use it modal verb, or we can also go adjective form. So let's first look at the uses of it as a modal verb. Obed, can you read for me?
Yes, used to. The modal verb used to is
Sorry.
utilized to indicate some things that
Mhm.
happened on a regular basis in the past. It is also used to things that were true in the past, but are no longer true. As with the other modal verbs, used to is followed by the base form of the principal verb. The structure, affirmative sentence.
All right. Now, the affirmative sentences are what we call positive sentences. All right. So those are our normal ones. Go ahead, Obed.
Yes. Uh, we, s- we used to go to the beach every summer when I was young. He used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, but he could quit last year. I used to like mushrooms, but not anymore. There used to be a great restaurant here, but it closed a few years ago.
All right. Notice used to plus go, used to plus smoke, used to plus like, or used to plus be. In the affirmative form, that's your structure. All right. Has to have the D because it's coming from the past, and to make it a modal, used to in the affirmative form. And you use your verbs in their base form because modals always go with a base form verb. Now, what about negative? Uh, Ada, Ada.
Yes. Sí.
Negative form.
I didn't used to like mushrooms, but now I do. Food didn't used to be so expensive. We didn't used to go away on holiday very often when I was young.
Right? Didn't has the past. Didn't is our auxiliary verb or helping verb, and it is used here to express, in this case, negative ability. We're not. What are we not doing? Or what are we not used to? So here we'll have your time and the negative, and we'll keep our modal use in its simple form and our verb in its base form. Same thing for questions. Fatima.
Didn't he used to smoke a lot? Did you used to live here? Did they used to go to the beach in the summers?
Good. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't show you another example. So I'm going to write it on the screen. Remember, when it comes to questions, you can always start a question with a question word. For example, what, capital W, what pet did you use to have as a child? All right. This is also very common when asking about past habits. Of course, you used to take care of a pet. Maybe you had a cat, maybe you had a dog, maybe you had both, maybe you had a zoo like me. Uh, Use your question word plus your did and used to. That's also something you can do when you're creating a dialogue or something in your forum activities, all right, or in your practice. What else? Well, used to is for the past habits. Now, do you remember what is for present habits? Well, we usually use our frequency adverbs, like usually, right? Let's look at some more examples here. We won't use used to for the present, the regular basis habits. We'll use frequency adverbs like often or generally, or in this case, usually and normally. Perez Cabrera, help us with those examples.
We usually go to the beach every summer. He normally smokes a pack of cigarettes every day. They usually play football on the weekends.
All right. Usually, then your verb. All right. Now, of course, your verb will change if it's singular or plural, first person or third person, but usually helps us to indicate, using these adverbs, usually, normally, generally, often, that the action is now. It's a present habit. Right? Over to you, Gabby. What about if it's a repeated action, not a past habit? Well, repeated actions, you can still use used to, or you can use would. All right? Would, conditional type of modal verb, often also used as the past tense of will, helps us to express repeated actions or events in the past only, and they're only used in affirmative sentences. All right, Gabby?
When I was young, we would go to the beach every summer, and the university, they would play football every weekend.
Notice events, actions. Don't use it in a negative form, and don't use it when you're expressing a habit or expressing a state from the past. Use used to for states. All right. Now, let me jump over here just to reinforce it. Used to for past states and habits, but would only for past actions. All right. Now, what about the adjective form that was mentioned at the top? You can use used to plus other forms. when talking about the state of something. All right. Here we have three examples with used to. Here we have some gerunds, or when we're talking about the state of the weather or what you are describing yourself as. All right. Here, help us, Pacheco.
Yes. She's used to living alone. We weren't used to traveling a lot. I'm not used to this cold weather.
All right. All of these things are describing either the girl here. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. All right. So when we use used to, we're talking about the state of someone or something. All right. Not necessarily the action or the habit. Here, help us out. Whose turn was it? Was it Pacheco or was it Dana's turn? Your turn,
Yes.
Dana? Okay.
Ajá. She's used, perdón.
Mhm.
¿Leo los ejemplos
Yeah,
o
yeah,
leo?
yeah. Yeah,
Ah, okay. I'm sorry. She used to living alone. We weren't used to traveling a lot. I'm not used to this cold weather.
Good. All right. So she is alone now. Is she okay? Yeah, it's normal for her. We didn't travel a lot. Was that normal for us? Nah, we were not used to it. Do you like the weather in Mexico City? Yes. Do you, are the person from Acapulco? No, not used to. In these three examples are adjectives, they are descriptions. All right. Now, if it's not complete, if we're in the process of getting used to it, getting familiarized, then we use get to. because it's not complete, so we can't use the verb to be. If it's still happening, if it's in the process, we use get. All right? Itzel.
They divorced over 2 years ago. She has gotten used to living alone. With this new job and getting used to traveling a lot, you need to get used to this cold weather if you are going to live here.
Good. All right? So just like before, we're using it as a descriptive. How is she now? How is this person now on the new job? And how are they with the cold weather? All right? Now, remember, the goal of this exercise right now is so we can practice the used to form. But notice that we also have quite a few examples of the past simple, and we have the when. So those are also important. Hopefully you're capturing those as well. All right? Let's do an exercise. And let's go back to the top of the list with Ada. Number 1.
Yes. I mm, I used to smoke when I was in my 20s.
All right? I used to smoke. Repeat. This was an old habit. You don't do it anymore. I used to smoke. Repeat.
I used to smoke when I was in my 20s.
Good. All right. So that's a past habit. This is a present habit, Fatima. What do we use for present habits?
I usually smoke when I drink.
Good. Current habit. All right. Perez Cabrera. What about if it's a custom? Something is now normal. Not you, Gabby. Fernanda. Perez Cabrera. What do we
I
use?
I used to no. I
¿Qué usamos cuando estamos hablando de algo, cuando estás describiendo algo que estás acostumbrado, que ya se ha volvido normal, habitual, pero no es tu hábito?
I am used to.
Exactly. All right, full sentence.
I am used to the smell of smoke because my husband smokes.
Perfect. All right. Now, Gabby, number 4. ¿Qué usamos cuando no tenemos used to? ¿Qué es la otra opción?
Usually,
Ese es para presente. Para el pasado.
uh, good.
Perfect. Example.
There was a time when she would always work late.
All right. Number 5. Obed.
Yes, so yeah, he used to be a vegetarian when he was a kid.
All right. He used to be a vegetarian when he was a kid. Repeat.
Yes, he used to a vegetarian when
Used
he
to
was a
be a.
sí, perdón. He used to be a vegetarian when he was a kid.
Right. Kid is just another word for child. All right. When you're young. Number 7. Pacheco. Fernanda.
Yes.
All right.
They used to the silence when they built a restaurant next door.
All right. En este caso, ellos viven y estaban acostumbrándose. O sea, no es su hábito. El silencio es de su vecindad, de su colonia, digamos. Y justo cuando estaban acostumbrándose a este silencio, construyeron un restaurante. What do we use?
Um, are are getting used to.
¿Y el pasado de are?
Where?
Good.
Okay.
Again?
And they were getting used to the silence when they built a restaurant next door.
And Dana, number 7.
Yeah. Sally didn't used to drink a lot of wine.
Yes. Wasn't her habit. Now it's her habit, but in the past, wasn't her habit. Number 8. Itzel.
It's a noisy apartment, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to it.
Exactly. Así es este departamento y yo estoy acostumbrado a ello. All right, good. So that's what you want to practice. Dive in little by little, do your exercises, do the little extra practices that I'm going to be sending to you. That way you can figure out how to best structure your forum submission. Remember, you're going to create a short story, find the pictures on the internet, make sure to write it properly using the past continuous and used to. Once you have your story and your pictures, create a video. I personally really like canva.com. You can use Video Maker as well, but it's old. It's a recommendation from maybe 2010. Uh, you can also use PowerPoint to create the presentation and put your transition and then export. So however you want to do it, be creative. The goal is to create your video with audio and submit your story. All right, you're going to present the story there in the forum, and as usual, comment and interact with each other there on the forum. Remember, everything is due before the 12th. But since we're short for time, my recommendation, finish all of week of Unit 3's things by Friday. On next Saturday, we'll start some reviews of Unit 4. If you've already done all of this, submit your forum and start Unit 4 activity. Next week, we're going to go into another bit of practice. All right. From this section. All right. Our goal next week is to tackle Unit 4. Now, in Unit 4, we're going to be looking at the future. So I'm going to put all of it together. We're going to look at the future simple, the idiomatic future, and the different other types of future. All right. Is it a scheduled event? Is it a random event? Is it a spontaneous response? And what types of adverbs do we use when we're talking about the future? All right. That's what we're going to be tackling. So if you haven't started Unit 3, which a lot of you have, thank you so much for continuing to work and practice. English is about practice. And remember, when we finish this, we're going to start Unit English 6 from January to May. So keep practicing little by little. The more practice, the better. And if you need help, message me. All right. Until next Saturday, do take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, teacher. Good day.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good day.
All right. Good day. Natalia, you missed it, but you can go back to the stream and watch the video and put your attendance there. Okay?
Yes, well, I have to put my name in the chat or not?
You can put it in the classroom stream after you watch the video.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ciao.